The Diddler is catching no breaks because Terrance Howard just exposed the nasty things he did to him and Bryshere Gray. But it gets worse because it's not just them. There were several other black men being used at Diddy parties like toys. So let's get into it quick. Terrance Howard just sat down for this interview with PDB, and it started off all chill until he started dropping bombs. Terrence wasn't gossiping. He was straight up venting like your uncle after 2 Hennies at the cookout. When asked about why the life of some celebrities don't end well, Terrence pointed out that the industry will chew you up and spit out. Terrence went on about the pain that creatives go through and the toxic way they have to deal with it.
You're going through so much to try and deal with life. You are literally, it's an unhealthy space. And so eventually you're gonna go too far, you know?
And then he hit us with that real pain, like the kind of pain that doesn't come from acting. It comes from watching folks lose themselves for a little piece of fame, bringing up some legends that have passed away like Philip and Heath, who won awards with him but had to go through a lot just to get it.
Philip, who knows what Heath had to do in order to get to where he was at. There's a lot of things that people...
But that was also when Terrence hit us with the heavy line about losing your man card. When he said man card, he ain't talking toxic masculinity or some alpha male BS. He talking about that hole.
Sitting and they can't get over it. And they got to keep getting high, hoping to get it out of their head. You know, but when you lose your man card, that's the only thing I can think of. You lose your damn man card.
What is that? What do you mean by that?
You give up your ability, your right to being a man. A man don't take it, a man gives it. So when you give up that man card.
Out of nowhere, Terrence name dropped Diddy. Terrence first went into how some folks who went to Diddy parties didn't expect it to catch up to them until it did, and now they have to face the consequences of their Diddy-sponsored acts.
I've never seen somebody recover from it. That was all the people that went to the Puffy parties. That was all the people that did all those things thinking that there was never gonna be a consequence for what they were doing. Got punked out and pimped out by some greater desire. You don't have a greater desire than being a man.
Then he told the story. Apparently, Diddy asked Terrence to coach him on acting. At first, Terrence was like, bet, let me help this brother out. But when he showed up, there was no script, no nothing, just Diddy sitting there, watching, staring, weird vibes all around. Another time, Diddy asked to hear Terrence's music, but the vibes didn't change. Then Diddy's assistant hit up Terrence again, talking about, you should come back and hang. Terrence's own assistant was like Diddy might want to have private relations with him. As soon as Terrence heard that, all the weird looks and vibes suddenly started making sense, and he did what any self-respecting person would do and simply stopped seeing Diddy.
He invited me for weeks, asking me to come and teach him how to, wanted me to be his acting coach for a while. Go there and he's sitting around just looking. I'm like, okay, what's the material you want to work on? He's just looking at me. Then next thing you know, okay, hey, will you help me? I want to hear your music. So I come over there and I play the music, and he's sitting there just looking at me, like waiting. Okay. So then my assistant was like, he wants to hang out with you next week. And I was like, for what? He's like, I think he's trying to. That's what my assistant said. I was like, oh, okay. Now I get it. So now no more communication. Now you know to be hands-off with somebody.
Now, say what you want, but that doesn't sound like an acting lesson. That sounds like a casting couch setup with bottle service. This is where it gets heavy. Terrence hinted that he wasn't the only one they tried, but he was one of the few who said no. He went on to expose how freaky some of the producers can get and how he threatened to knock the heads of anyone who wanted to move in that way on him.
Coming to make the approach, and you threaten to punch them in the mouth. Of threatening to knock their head off for talking to you or looking at you like you're a woman. When you approach a real man about his masculinity, you're gonna get a real reaction.
And it cost him his entire career. Hollywood doesn't like that. You say no to the wrong people and suddenly your phone stops ringing. But Terrence didn't fold. He mentioned how he doesn't bend over for nobody or play gay roles because he values his man card and no business is worth compromising it.
Businesses because I don't bend over in that way. I don't compromise. I don't play gay roles. I don't kiss a man. I don't do that because the man card means everything.
Now this part might ruffle some feathers, cause everybody got different views on roles and representation, but this wasn't about homophobia. This was Terrence saying he ain't with doing anything that makes him feel like he's not being true to himself. No one was expecting Terrence to go the way he went, but at this point, it's not even the most crazy thing we've heard about Diddy. But like Terrence said, he wasn't the only victim, and there were a lot of young black men that were used and discarded like paid toys at this parties by these producers. And one such person who has also been associated with Terrence was Bryshere Gray, the dude who played Hakeem on Empire. Terrence tried to look out for him, but the system already had him. And when you look at where Brey-shere life was, at the top of the game, and now career completely destroyed and having to do gay corn for bread, it's just sad.
It's just what's bothering me is that being a celebrity sometimes comes with, like, everybody wants to be successful in a celebrity and stuff like that, but it comes with, you know, sometimes, and you know, that's the only thing that I hate about it.
Jaguar Wright was one of the first who brought the entire Bryshere Gray situation into public, but she not only blamed Diddy, she dragged Will Smith in there too. According to Jaguar, they did Bryshere dirty, like soul snatching dirty, and now they trying to make sure that boy never has the strength to speak on it. To make it worse, Jaguar said it was done in the presence of Jaden Smith and Justin Combs. They allegedly turned that boy into a plaything, and the whole thing was allegedly recorded on a tape.
See, they trying to sell him out so he'll feel too embarrassed to file his lawsuit against Diddy for what Will and Diddy did to him. With Jaden and Justin present that tape.
Jaguar wasn't even subtle. She was furious. She didn't spare nobody, not Diddy, not Will, and definitely not Brey-shere's mom, who she accused of selling her son's soul for a book deal that didn't go nowhere near success.
I'ma kick you in your and then I'ma go to work North Philly style. And Charlie, you happy now? He's a gay star. Are you happy now, Andy? For a book that didn't sell?
And she even called out Brey-shere's mother for letting Will Smith have his way with him and let his manager, Charlie, pump him up with nose candy. Jaguar painted a picture of a mother who allegedly sold her son to predators in exchange for a storyline and a new man.
That came to me and begged me for my help. I told her to get away from Charlie. I did everything that I could do to help her get out of California into Chicago State to be ready for filming. She knew she knew what Will did to him. But because of Charlie, see? And Charlie had promised her all kinds of things. And all she had to do was pretend to be a broken down single mom who worked her way up through the ghetto and raised a superstar for television, when the truth is she wasn't nothing but a dealer's whore.
And trust people have a lot of opinions on this entire thing. One commenter said, I agree with Terrance Howard. Bryshere needs to speak on his own truth and tell his story. Another person said his body was used by powerful men. Another added, 1, first they say you crazy. 2, then the truth comes out. 3, I believe Jaguar. But what do you think about Diddy making a pass at Terrance Howard? Was Diddy and Will responsible for the misfortunes in Bryshere's life? Let us know down in the comments and check out this other video because it's just as crazy.